he's a hardcore Vijay fan. He watches all Vijay films, mostly in first day itself.
Can you, as a younger brother or as a director, actually separately as a director, when you see something shot by Shyju compared to something shot by Jimshi, can you make out who shot which?
Yeah, of course.
Very easily.
Very easily.
I'm very sure that Rahman has kept me as his DP, not just because of I'm his brother. He completely believed in me.
When you went to the sets of Big B compared to maybe the sets that you had seen before that, did you feel like this is the movie that is going to change the industry?
No, yaar.
No.
We weren't
running
that
behind
technical to it. Because
Hi Jimshi.
Hi.
Hi Rahman.
Hi.
Welcome to the Hollywood Reporter India, and congrats on the films that you've just made. But let me start with trying to figure out how you guys became this combination. You guys have been working for 10 years together. You guys are brothers. And then I'm pretty sure you guys have developed a language that only both of you can understand. But let me start with something that is a little basic. That's something that starts with your childhood. What do you think is Jimshi's absolute favorite movie of all time? And you have to answer the opposite, but you have a little bit more time to think.
I'm not very much sure about his favorites, but he has a lot of favorites for him. I can easily say Godfather is of course one of his favorites because it's easy.
Everybody's
Everybody's
favorite.
favorite.
Easy answer. Okay. What do you think?
Thallumaala is one of his favorite.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe so. Huh?
Let me ask you this. Your eldest brother, I think he was a photographer, right? Shyju, of course, no question about it. And what you got into is what is very naturally possible in that family. You know? You expect the third son also to get into photography or something linked to photography. But when it comes to Rahman, do you feel like there was some difference in the way he was looking at movies or the way he was thinking about scripts? Because apart from the visuals, are you also thinking about him as, okay, he's got that writerly instinct or the instinct to understand what works as a movie? Did you notice any difference in the way he thought about movies?
Yes, I mean, apart from me and Shyju Khalid, his head works differently.
You find similarities with Shyju Khalid for in your case?
Yeah. I found a little bit similarities in me and Shyju Khalid's case. Like, see, initially when you start watching like international movies, academic movies, when you start working and you have to like learn from the films, in both ways, the commercial films and the academical films. So there will be a situation that you don't know what to watch, where to start. Okay, where you should go list some directors and watch their movies.
Starts with Bergman or should you start with something lighter? Things like that.
Yes. So in that position, you're confused. There, Shyju Khalid used to help me with a lot of movies, a lot of references, and even after we both watched the movie. We try to discuss a little bit here and there whenever we get chance or whenever we sit around. That usually doesn't happen. But whenever we sit around, we talk a little bit about these contents that we watch. So his thoughts and his reviews and what interested him, what he didn't like, and everything made a influence in me, I guess. Because I was so young, we were looking up to these not brothers. I mean, a DOP.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. So that has influenced me. But see, this guy, he loves mass movie. Whichever the movie you can go to and do the whistle thing and the clap thing. He's an audience like that. Especially I'll tell you, he's a hardcore Vijay fan. He watches all Vijay films, mostly in first day itself.
Yeah.
Still. And on that we like for fun, we used to have a conversation over it. Like
what do you find in this?
It still excites him. I don't know, but yeah, it excites him. That's the matter, and that he's not faking it. He likes it.
Yeah.
He likes it. Well, that is a different, one of the difference that we both have in each other. Like, I also like all this mass masala stuff, but sometimes, I hate conventional
Yeah.
style of
That regular intro scene.
regular
Yeah.
intro scene, hero aa gaya, and his aankhon ka shot,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
his fist is, he's doing the fist and blowing. Arey, I've been watching all this stuff from my childhood,
Yeah.
man.
Change it.
Yeah, in 2000 or like late 90s or beginning of 2000s, I'll tell you, I was I was a big fan of നമ്മുടെ പയ്യൊക്കെ ചെയ്താരാ
Lingusamy.
Linguswamy. I was a big fan of Linguswamy, sir. The movie Run.
Yeah, huge hit.
Yeah, it's a huge hit. There is, there is nothing much in the cinema like a big story and subplots and character depth and everything. Yeah, character depth is there, but you see, that's very contemporary. That's very out of the box. Still, he had told everything which all these major audience can connect.
Yeah.
But it felt refreshing at that point of time. Even Rahman also loved all his films. He used to go for every films of Linguswamy sir.
But did they, as brothers, ever bully you because your taste was very different from theirs?
No. Whenever I go, you used to come with me.
Okay.
Yeah, I have nothing to do. Otherwise, I'll be sitting home and doing nothing. So he'll be like, I'm going for Sami. Are you coming? Okay, chalo.
Okay. But tell me one thing. You guys have worked on all 5 films of his. You've worked partly in one, but then, of course, you worked on all 5 of his. Compared to the way he used to communicate with you in Anuraga Karikkan Vallam, has the communication language changed, or has the way he's communicating his idea of certain things changed in these 10 years?
His taste hasn't changed. His way of explaining hasn't changed. But he improved a lot. That's what I realized. He improved a lot. He's composed now, very composed. There are times which a technician or a DP or a director, he loses the composure on the set, or like you'll be stuck at something. Maybe creatively you'll be stuck. There will be situations. So initially, when he was doing Anuraga Karikkan Vallam, he was just 24. Like
Correct,
4 years after his degree.
Yeah.
And he didn't have any film schooling or that kind of background. He just suddenly jumped into the film industry. See, after his graduation, he had good marks, and Shyju wanted him to do MBA, and he was ready to send him to the Delhi, and some of his friends were there working in Airtel or something, and they were ready to accommodate him for a small job so he can have a little bit of pocket money. But this guy, end of the day, like, he was like, I want to assist direction, I want to work with Anwar Rashid. That's how he came to it.
Has his taste changed?
He has, see, sometimes we also change, right? But by the time we cater something which doesn't digest us, but we know it will work.
Correct.
Yeah, he doesn't do that.
It doesn't compromise.
Yeah, it's not a compromise. It's not a compromise. See, even I worked with directors like that. I mean, in their case, they sometimes they were right. Personally, I am not like okay with it, or like it's not digesting for me. But when you think of in a different dimension, maybe not maybe it might work for the larger audience.
Okay.
So some
like, for
directors,
instance,
I've seen some directors doing it, which they are not 100% sure.
So they are
about.
not convinced of adding a particular element, but they will add that element thinking, okay, kids will like this.
Yeah, kids
something
are like the audience will like it, or the large scale audience will like it.
Okay.
See, that's what we try to break in this film also. Like conventionally, okay, how you build a storyline in a boxing
movie,
sports drama. somebody has to win and there has to be motivation. Yes, of course, this film is motivated with the character, but we don't do that so loudly.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it, I believe.
Can you, as a younger brother or as a director, actually separately as a director, when you see something shot by Shyju compared to something shot by Jimshi, can you make out who shot which?
Yeah, of course, yes.
Very easily.
Very easily.
Wow. How do you think he can do that?
Yeah, he can. He can. I mean, as a DP, I can differentiate a lot of DP's work. Now, in like when you in 2025, there are like thousands of DPs in the country. So that's tough. So there were a time in 90s or like early 2000s.
Santosh Sivan,
or like
PC Sriram.
If you name like in an industry, hardly 10-15
Correct,
major
DPs.
DPs will be there. That 10-15 shades and look and feel and the mood, that I can differentiate. I can tell you who shot it. That's how you refine yourself, and that's how you learn from them. You cannot go to their set or assist them or like talk to them about their work. You revisit their work, and every time you watch it with a different dimension, perspective, and everything. That's how I get things.
But let's talk about conflict resolution. Okay, you guys have already worked so much together, and at the writing stage, let's say you have a disagreement. He's narrating the script to you, and you feel like, okay, that's not what that character should do at that time, or you don't like where the story is going at a particular point. How do you solve that compared to how you solve an issue on the sets or a disagreement on the sets? Which is easier to solve?
Writing side.
That's easier to solve. At least we are sitting. We are actually in a relaxed manner, right?
Yeah.
It's not like an environment like we are shooting and we are mentally, buzzed and everything. We are sitting in a chair and having tea and discussing. You need this. I mean, whatever the thing is. And end of the day, see, I used to fight a lot with him, even in preps or in the time of shooting. In Anurag Karikin Vellam, our initial movie, see that is we were young, man. I was 26 and he was 24.
24, correct. Yeah.
So we used to fight a lot, everything creatively. And for that movie, after all this fight, we were staying in the same room, sharing the same bed in that. Because it's a small movie and the circumstances were like that. So we used to fight a lot. But gradually, I figure out it's my mistake. End of the day, I mean,
you had more experience at that time. You had more experience, no?
No.
Around
the senior.
He's the senior.
Okay.
He's the senior.
I didn't know that. Okay.
He's the senior. He's senior to me. So gradually I realized end of the day that's his craft and he's so visionary about it and he know what he wants. And that time I used to take things, shots and very personally. It's mine. My shot. I mean,
I took so much effort to film that.
That kind of stuff. But it's not right. I'm just working for him. I realized that a little later. Even after Unda. After Unda only I realized that's his craft. You should just give him options. Your ideas. If he takes it. Otherwise.
See, but you guys would have fought 1,000 times as siblings, right? You guys would have fought 1,000,000 times as brothers for small things at home, for small things that are personal. But when there is a conflict or when there's an argument on the sets, when it's work related, is it a little bit more tougher to negotiate? Is it a little bit more complicated?
I felt like
it's the opposite.
Yeah, it's the opposite. I'm very sure that Rahman has kept me as his DP, not just because of I'm his brother. He completely believed in me. I believe he knows that I can pull off his
whatever
works.
he wants.
His vision. I can bring it to the life. That's why I'm working with him. So even when we have a discussions in the set and we work on the set, this brother thing never comes up. Never comes up. Never. I really don't want that on the set.
So you have to maintain that professional,
Yeah.
an element of professionalism.
Yeah. See, sometimes I feel like Lukman, our artist, he been associating with us like for like third movie,
Phone.
No, from Unda, no? Yeah.
fourth movie.
Huh.
See, so he's a regular guy in our set.
Yeah.
If you visit our set and see how these two behaves, you will feel like, okay, these are the brothers, and
Okay.
I'm from somewhere
Okay.
somewhere else. So between us, there is nothing like that. Yeah.
But can I ask you this? It's a slightly complicated question. There is a way that you imagine your movies, right? When you write a movie, this is a movie that you've written, you have certain visuals that come to your mind. And you also know Jimshi's style and the way Jimshi frames his visuals. Have you reached a point where both are very similar? The way that you're imagining movies are almost like how Jimshi shoots his movies?
Never.
You should be happy with that answer, no?
I thought he'll be saying, okay, he flourishes my
He improves it and all that. Yeah.
No, of course. It's if you're taking a case of Alappuzha Gymkhana. So initial for a particular film, Alappuzha Gymkhana, we both know the situation, the story, and everything from the childhood.
Yeah.
So we experienced it. So when I was narrating this idea, and okay, we are doing it. So we just started recce and writing stage and the initial stage, and while the script discussions after the script discussion, we were discussing about the tone of the film, how it should be looking and everything. So I had totally different look and everything. So the inside the venue. So the
second half.
Second half. So I was preparing in my mind, and I was keeping imagining and writing and setting up in all the corners and according to that. And when he started working, and he said, no, we should work something.
I came late to the project.
Late for the work.
Okay.
You don't believe, I joined the project before like 22 days before the shoot.
20 days.
So at that time the plan was to shoot with somebody else?
No.
He just got delayed.
Yeah, he was doing all the preps.
All the work.
Even my preps also he was doing. Because I was shooting some other
back
movie.
to back he was shooting two films.
Back to come on, man. Not back to back. I was busy. That's it. So I came late. So he already had set up some plan. Yeah, he was saying.
So in my mind, the image was totally different, and so then he joined and he described all the looks and everything. So I was like, okay, I am not sure about the look. Maybe this is not what I really wanted, because it gives totally a different image
from what you had in
my mind, and I was a little bit confused about the look. Then okay, I trusted as a DP man. I have to trust my DP. He know the film because he know it. So we started working. Then it worked for me. So
you're trusting him with it. This is not what it looked like.
No. So from my imagination, he uplifted the image 100% top. It was totally different.
So, but maybe in Alappuzha Gymkhana, you have that space to some extent, because okay, the first half is in Alappuzha. You guys can actually go and figure out all the places and shoot it whichever way you want. Second half, of course, is very limited. It's one place, and then everything has to be around that particular place. But in Thallumaala, wouldn't it have been way more complicated to pull this off? Shouldn't you guys have had the exact vision to even start a movie like Thallumaala?
For Thallumaala, it happened like in between friends. Like it happened many years back in Mohsin's mind, and he dropped into me. So we know the film from the very initial stage of the film. So then the communication, we three people know exactly what we want, how it should look like.
Who's the third?
Mohsin Pereri, and me and him.
Oh, you three, okay.
So we so it was very easy to communicate. So the look and the type of visuals of the Thallumaala, it was very easy.
Okay, this is tougher.
This was tougher in the sense, if you ask me, in which film we struggled more, definitely Thallumaala.
Definitely.
Because a lot of locations and everything was different, and it was totally big and chaotic. And when it comes to this, as you said, it is under a controlled environment, and you can
You can make changes.
after the initial stages, it will go with the flow. Yes, you are right. But the problem was boxing. See, as boxing lovers, he's a practitioner, in amateur. He's a practitioner.
Why didn't you go that time? I'm very curious. When he went for boxing, why didn't you join?
I was there.
You were there. Okay.
Have you seen the film?
I've seen the film, of course.
Okay. Then please go ahead.
I was there, but I chose freestyle wrestling.
And you get the massiest moment in the movie.
No. That was all his imagination. No, not that action and all didn't happen. But we had to run from there.
Correct. Okay.
Yeah, we had to run from there. That is true. That was happened, but not the climax fight and all the chaos. That didn't happen. That was cinematically how we.
Okay, imagine. Okay.
And the ambulance sequence also happened.
You went back home in an ambulance. But in a nice, happy way, like in the movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
We were tired. We were beaten up. So what I was saying is, see, as true boxing lovers, apart from doing a good movie or like a successful movie, we were really wanted to stay true to boxing. Because we have seen a lot of boxing movies in India and other internationally also. There are good and bad boxing in international boxing movies also. So all in my mind was like, you should do good boxing.
Yeah.
You should demonstrate the clinical boxing. So that at some extent we able to pull it off.
Of course.
Believe,
Yeah.
No, that was the toughest part in this. That was the toughest part in this, and that was so headache type of a thing. And the highlight is we didn't had a action choreographer for none of the boxing matches. It was just our boxing coach. He didn't have any knowledge about cinema, how it is being shooting. He didn't even know Naslin.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. When he had Naslin for training, he was like, okay, who's this kid? He didn't know none of them. So he's not into the movie stuff and everything, but he's such a great boxer, such a great practitioner, coach, and the best that we can get, and we are blessed that we had him. So we pulled it off with this guy who has no experience in cinema at all. So all these factors were tension creating. We were so curious. We were so nervous.
No, but Gymkhana also, like you said, no, it's a vibe. It's a mood, right? It's not a writerly film. It's not a thriller. Like, okay, you can remake it in another language without any cultural context, and the people will automatically like it. So how do you kind of explain a vibe to so many people? Of course, he's your brother and you have a working relationship with him for so many years. But to a producer who probably doesn't understand this.
I'm the producer, man.
I know, but I'm saying there are other producers also, right? There are other producers also. So how do you kind of explain to them? How do you explain a mood to them?
For Alappuzha Gymkhana, it's a diary not film for us. So the entire, most of the 80% of the thing happened in our childhood time. So the initial idea of me, like I want to make a diary not film. It's like something what happened into my life, capturing into the cinemas. Then I did, so it was very easy to communicate with him because he knows the situation, everything.
He was in wrestling.
So there was not even a narration needed. It was like that.
To other technical crew and other people, no. So I decided to write because only I know the idea. Then myself decided to produce the film because
no need the
it's my
stress of
diary.
explaining.
It's my diary.
Yeah.
So then it was very easy to communicate to other technicians in the way like I just explained my experience. Started the narration. Buddy, I went after this and this. We went there and this thing happened. We returned. Everyone smiled. And they got the idea.
Correct. Yeah.
Then just shoot it. So that was that much easy. I was when I was working with Alappuzha Gymkhana. So
But what is the moment that you're most excited to shoot? Like, what was the part of your own childhood that you're so excited to recreate?
Every inch of the film. I was so like the work tension and the hecticity.
It wasn't there.
Everything was there. But while I was shooting and while I was looking into my monitor, I felt so happy because we are capturing our childhood.
After you see the first half, you'll expect the second half of the film to be the film where they come back with the cup. They're going to come back with the championship. It's very unique to think of an idea where actually the hero fights only one proper fight. There's of course the fight that he fights to win, but that's a very easy fight. So it's technically a boxing movie where the hero fights only one fight. How did you kind of...
See, after the inspiration of the idea, while I was prepping for my film, and what I got in mind that I have to be 100. If I'm planning to make a boxing film, there are a lot of options. Like there are a lot of reference for the type of film,
Yeah.
but it have a format. So but in my knowledge, according to me, there is no definition for a sports film. But by watching these much of films, people got into mind that okay, these are the definitions of a sports film. So after getting into this idea, I was searching for the type of film which I want to make. Like this, is there any type of film which is good to go to same type of vibe or kind of thing? I didn't get any kind of film. Then by that moment I was made sure that I have to be very honest with the idea. Then only it will come out as a different film. What can be I was not like, I never bothered about the result of that film because I was very much sure about and very much pretty 100% sure about the experience what I had. So then
what he meant is that life experience.
Life experience.
Not about the cinema.
Yeah.
No surety about that. No work we done.
So it was like so after confirming it, so I was going through the experience what happened. Then in the initial stage, we were all like choose the particular boxing thing for just a random thing. And we were not at all serious. Our ambition was only the 60 mark. Okay. Then after joining the boxing thing, after 2-3 rounds of like a practice session and all, the very first day itself, our master we have like around 50 rounds. So that was the very first thing happened. From that, whatever I have shown in the film, it's like really happened. So in the first half, after the district competition, there is one guy who called Shanu in this particular film. So he was my his classmate.
Okay.
So we were practicing together, and like he didn't come for any practice or anything, but I called him for the district competition. Then I beat him.
Okay.
He planned it and
you didn't like him.
No.
he know that if it is Shanu, that's an easy prey.
Okay.
I can easily win it. So he called up Shanu.
That's how you went to the next stage.
So that's what so from that moment, like we all are thinking of like we are the champions. If we go, we'll get the cup. We are 100% sure about ourselves, man. It's like teenage blood. It's like hot. So from there, and we went there. So from that particular moment of time, each of the boxing matches of our team was like our
reality checks.
There was so adrenaline rush and we were so pumped up. Watching our boys fight. We fought well, but we failed.
Failed.
Did anybody win? At least one of you win?
One guy won. Only one match.
Is that fight also similar in the movie?
Yeah.
Cherudu.
That fight
that happened.
Very similar.
He punched the rib.
That wasn't a knockout.
That wasn't a knockout.
Okay.
It's a unanimous decision. What happened there is he
was the underdog. We never had hope in him.
And he's the one who ended up.
He's the only one who won the fight.
Okay. But tell me this, okay? You've already would have thought about so many things from life in the process of working on all the scripts that you worked on before this. At what stage do you realize that, okay, this part of my life is not just nostalgic. It can translate to other people will also like what I am talking about from my life. Whereas there are so many things that needn't be good enough to be turned into a movie. How do you decide this is valuable and this is just, okay, my nostalgia, it needn't be valuable?
It's like...
That is a tough decision, right?
Boxing sells worldwide.
Okay, that's the trick. Okay.
That's not the trick. Boxing was the factor.
Boxing was the
we
factor.
thought people connected.
Definitely. It's a worldwide game actually. Everywhere boxing is there. So everyone as in he said, like it will connect. So that's the first point.
But will you miss this? Will you miss this feeling of trying to recreate something from life in your next film? It's very difficult for you to get that again, right?
Yeah, it will be very difficult. I'm not sure about I'll do it.
Another
I
one.
will do it from somebody else's life.
Somebody else's life, yeah.
Yeah, but you still won't feel it as strongly as you did.
I have already written my one diary. So okay.
But is it a difficult situation where he's not yet decided on the next film, and you guys are all in that phase?
See, first of all, I don't think you need a Mahabharat kind of story to make a film, or like once you really hook up with the story, that film gonna be great. No, that good story can be a
Horrible movie.
a horrible screenplay, and that can be a pretty bad movie also. So what I believe is like the person I'm affiliating with, especially the director, and I'm a guy who likes to listen the screenplay from him, not to read. Even in Malayalam or English, I'm a pretty slow reader. So that disturbs me. Although I'm slow, he's such a fast reader. He'll finish it off in like very small amount of time. So for me, I like to listen it from him, and the person I'm affiliating with is very important for me, and I believe in his sensibility. If he comes up with an idea, I believe in him, even if I don't understand that. See, there are things you complain about which you don't understand, right? So,
But you trust him.
I try to take a little time to grasp it. Okay, even if I don't understand or I cannot judge it, like what is that factor that hooking this guy? I try to understand that, and I believe in him, especially in case of love. I didn't know anything. I mean, how is it? I'm not getting that.
Yeah.
The
Even after
totality.
watching it, I haven't yet got that.
Yeah. Once there's Rahman was also there. Rahman and Naufal, the editor of the film. So these boys are narrating me, and I'm okay, and this is how it ends, and I'm like, oh, and still I'm not getting that. Are you really doing it? Yeah. And Naufal was pretty sure about it.
So it's just trust.
That film was like I was a little clueless. And after like a couple of days, when you watch actors perform, you get that energy. Oh.
This is the rhythm.
And
This is the mood,
Shine had done an absolutely brilliant job. He terrified us on the set by his performance. So, then I got gripped and so most of the time I don't doubt him. But I'll have my opinions.
What are his suggestions? Is it generally when he gives you an opinion about a movie, or when he's trying to suggest a few changes? Is it more to do with the writing part, or does he generally stick to the cinematography or the look?
No,
and the feel of the
there
film?
will be a discussion on the writing part itself, situation. There won't be situations like entire screenplay correction changes or anything. But he definitely say the portion, situation, scenes, particular scenes and dialogues, whatever.
Yeah.
In my sensibility.
As a viewer.
Yeah, as a viewer, I mean, especially in Malayalam industry, and the movies which we do is like which you can relate.
Yeah.
Not the one guy killing everyone. You can relate to the every character or the actor or the hero that you said. Naslin has only one fight in the movie. Why? Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
This is why.
Yeah. Now, what I find very interesting when I was watching an interview of yours, you mentioned how when you were doing Anuraga Karikamalam, he was just come and tell you, okay, this is the shot he wants and this is the general framework of the scene that you guys are going to shoot. But by the second or third film, he started coming to you and telling you 25 mm, the lens and the lights that he wanted.
Yeah.
What do you prefer?
See, I'm so glad that I was able to educate him.
Okay,
yeah, I mean technically, I've been working with a lot of directors. Not all the directors knows all these technicalities. ये lens डालेगा तो ऐसा आएगा, or like what is a wider lens. They know wide and closer, but they don't understand the magnification or like the digit of the technicality. But when he was doing Unda, he had to work with, by the time when he finished the movie, he had to work with 3 DPs. So for me, for a visual language, one film has a lens. We use like multiple lenses, then all the lenses, but there will be one lens which you regularly use for your storytelling purpose. Not for the visual glitch or the gimmicks. For the storytelling, you will be having a lenses, and for me, that lens, I decide that lens by the time I shoot. Like after a couple of days shooting it, I slowly come into the tuning of this particular lens. So for me, that is filmmaking. The lensing is very important. When I was shooting Unda for him, I knew that I won't be there for like
most of the time
till he finished the movie. Someone else will come. So the visuals of the movie should not like jar, or like it should not feel like a glitch. It has to have that consistency throughout the cinema. So by the 15 days that I was working with him, especially in that cinema, I was trying to educate him in that extent, because after me going, whoever comes, we were in a pretty crucial situation that time. So I wanted him to be consistent and do his thing with his lensing.
Do you also prefer that? Do you also want to, when you in the writing phase itself, even though you know he's going to shoot it, do you also really want to work on your visuals to the extent that you know clearly what you want to tell him on the day of the shoot?
No. It will be very like we'll just before the shoot and everything, we'll just communicate the total idea on the day, on while we when we say take the camera, then only we decide, okay, this is the lens and this is the kind of thing. So that particular discussion happens there only. Then after that, it's very easy as per like he said, we will be only using 2 to 4 lens for throughout the film.
Throughout the movie.
So it's very easy to connect.
Okay, it's not 25, then what else?
If it is this particular one, that will be other.
Correct. See, but in at least both the films, even Unda, if you talk about these 3 films, eventually when we talk about that entire aspect of getting that vibe, right, getting that mood, it's not really that you can simply shoot what you had planned on shooting that day and then be happy with what you get. You have to keep shooting until you get exactly what you had in mind, right? Because especially certain fight scenes, when you're watching the movie, the audience are ready to clap a second before the moment happens itself. Like when the Cherudhu character punches that man on the ribs, people are subconsciously expecting it and they're ready to whistle the second he punches. So it's not that you may have written it, but you have to keep shooting it until you create that impact. How do you kind of go about, how are those days like on the sets? Is it you keep trying until you get it, or just say, this is the best we could do?
No.
Not even a moment. Not even a day, not even a minute.
Like actors, they got a very hard time while we shooting the boxing sequence.
Especially Cherudhu.
You can see this guy like
in that fight scene.
Particular fight scene. He gets so many beats, right? So many punches. So we can only shoot with him for 2 hours, like 2, 3, 4 takes. After that, he'll be like drained.
When we were shooting Cherudhu fighter, he was having 104-degree temperature.
Like it's like that because it was like a theater setup, like morning 10 to 12 Franco's fight, 12 to 2 this next guy, because after 2 hours they'll get drained. Why? Because we are pushing them so hard to get the final results. And while we shooting action sequence, it's very hard to get the focus part. We are not giving them the particular mark to mark movements. So they are moving however they want. It's very hard. So we were like, our focus pullers were like very much talented people. So that's why we were like a little bit relaxed. So it's very hard to shoot this boxing thing.
But to what extent is that scene ready or that fight ready before you go to the sets? Is it just broad?
All the choreography has
Been
pre-planned,
prepared, okay.
and the boys and with opponents, like they were practicing the choreography from last
6 months.
like they were practicing the boxing from last 6 months, and as per the choreography, they got around 30 to 45 days to practice. But another factor is like they were like planning and they were preparing for the choreographed fight and all. While we shooting, it may change, no?
Yeah.
Some bits, some portions,
And the drama around it.
around it, everything changes. Then it's very hard for them to coordinate and all. And the opponents which they are fighting, no, they were not actors. They were professional boxers. They don't know how to react.
Correct. Yeah.
You know, so it's very hard for them to act same time boxing. For the actors, it's very hard for them to box while they're acting.
Yeah, correct.
But it was very like funny. It's not funny. I'm thinking right now it's funny, but very exciting moments. Like.
Yeah. But at least when it comes to both of you, you guys are thinking that okay, we have to shoot these many fights. We have choreographed it, but we are going to only finish absolutely until we create that mood and that vibe. That's the only way to approach this.
Yeah, it's only
you
way.
Can't say we have to finish it in 15 days, 20 days.
No. For Gymkhana, I planned this film for 60 days in the initial stage. Then I took around 95 days because of the boxing thing, and we were giving time. We have to wait to get the best shot. So you have to do that.
Yeah. Plus, you're the producer.
And the producer.
Yeah. Compared to Thallumaala, was this a little bit more controlled film, or was that more controlled?
The Thallumaala was a total different experience for us because we were doing it for the first time. You know, the big actions, big songs, these much of actors, these much of locations. I'm seeing a dance choreographer for the first time in my set.
Correct. Actually,
Group dance.
Group dance and all.
First time Rahman's movie having a group dance, and we were teasing him.
Yeah.
You know, it's very different when a dance choreographer arrives in a set when he starts shooting. For the director,
that was amazing.
I don't have any job to do there.
I have no control also on this.
I don't have any control also. He's managing set, he's managing cameraman, he's managing all my technicians. I'm just sitting there like that was the very, very hard part for me. Initial stage, you know? Sitting on my set silent, not doing anything.
Just a spectator.
That was
watch it. Shooting देखने आए तो.
Yeah.
But it's those were the very beautiful days, you know.
Yeah. Also, I want to ask you some question about your brother Shyju Khalid. Okay, he's of course one of the great cinematographers of our country. And whenever somebody asks me about, okay, if they're getting into Malayalam cinema and they want a starting point, I'll send him his filmography and say, just start with his filmography. You will get every genre and you will get every movie that redefined Malayalam cinema. Traffic onwards. So many films. Can you talk about the influence that he's had in both of you and the way that maybe if not for him, you guys needn't have gotten into movies so seriously at such a young age, right?
Yeah.
Can you talk about how it was, how he got into movies in the first place and how it influenced your career, the conversations that you had, and how he probably kind of guided your taste in cinema?
See, for Shyju, I wouldn't say cinema was accidental for him.
For him?
I wouldn't say that. Because in his teenage itself, when he was doing his pre-degrees that time, he used to assist my elder brother for his pocket money.
Yeah.
That's his first thing he did in something related to camera.
Yeah.
And that was like weddings or like the local photography, whatever. And then afterwards, his degree. See, he got into camera assistant, going with some cameras, and he was a lens assistant, I guess. He was a lens assistant. He started from there, and I don't know whether he did all that out of the passion or his situation then, because Kochi was different in early 90s or like
mid 90s.
mid or end of the 90s. It was different. they were trying to, pursue a career in cinematography or cinema in that time, and they were nobodies. At least I can address him as, okay, this guy, or like
some address that you
some
have
address
because of
that
him.
I have is his reference. What do he have? So I don't know basically, and how would you judge him? Because there is a gap of like 10 to 11 years of age gap that we have, and yes, uh, it was his destiny. Gradually, he became a cameraman, and he kind of loved it. He kind of liked that part, and he assisted his first film after he had a baby. I guess he had a baby when he assisted his first movie. He was late. He was a late comer in the cinema, and he didn't assist that much of a movies also. After doing a couple of movies with Samir Tahir, he did his work. So they worked so hard and for so long, and they had the patience that influenced me. That influenced me, and of course his sensibility in selecting a project, and that is the influence that we personally I got from him.
What about you?
For me, he is the first person who trusted me in this case. Before telling him, I tried calling some of the directors in the industry, and I told them, like, I'm a guy who just passed out my degree. I want to become an assistant director, and I got rejections. Like, I didn't tell to anyone. Like, kept it with myself, and I just called him.
I know.
I called him.
Yeah, I took you in my bike.
And I said, to him that I want to become an assistant director, and he just said, yeah, okay, yes, I'll talk to Anwar, like, have a chat with him. Okay, so that was a very blessed moment for him, because he believed me. Okay, he never said like, okay, no, this is not a cup of tea or anything. So that's the biggest part in my life.
Do you think he saw something in you at that time?
I don't know. He might be thinking, okay, let him go.
Suffer. Let him go suffer and come back.
Back. He may be. Or I didn't do anything before that. I never shot or anything. Like, we were trying. As I said, like, I was working as an assistant cameraman, like a camera assistant as like so many events or wedding things, serials or something. Not anything with the direction department. And I didn't had any creative like background or like nothing. I didn't have. He just believed. Then it's okay. And by that time we were shot some
Short films, yeah.
Short films, yeah.
Oh, he had seen some short films.
Shooting, but
because the director that you went to assist, he asked you to do some work. So for that you didn't work.
Yeah.
Robbie shot it. Robbie Raj.
Oh, he shot
we were friends, yeah.
I mean, Anurag Vellam also, he was the first choice by Rahman. Rahman's supposed to do all his movies with Robbie. And
but never happened
it never happened till late. It's been like a decade. And accidentally he was busy with the Mamuka project by that time.
I remember you mentioning in one interview that your brother used to you referred to yourself as a very hopeless kid. Why did you use the word hopeless to describe that stage before you got into movies? Is it very obvious?
Hopeless because why? What I get to that, like, we were trying so many works by that time, but we were not sticking into
any profession.
Only 3 months. But we were into that sales industry, telecom industry, and so many works,
Both of you?
Yeah, we tried a lot of things like in the initial stage. So he knows, like, we
both worked together in Idea call center.
Okay.
So
that
from
was
there itself. So that's why, like, he's a person, like, he doesn't have much patience in the initial stage. So for the film industry, person should have
a little bit of
patience. Yeah.
Now does he have?
Yeah, he's getting into it
lightly.
I'm more patient than you, Rahman.
After 10 years.
Ask our friends.
And finally, I think you mentioned that the first film sets that you went to, or one of the first film sets that you went to, was Samir Tahir's set of Big B.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah. One of the initial
first
set when we were young.
Yeah. And Shyju was assisting in that film, right? When you went to the sets of Big B compared to maybe the sets that you had seen before that, did you feel like this is the movie that is going to change the industry?
No, yaar.
No.
We weren't
We were running
that
behind Chota
technical
movie.
to it because
The Lingusami fan is spoken.
yeah. But we saw some actors roaming around in there with the costumes and everything.
Yeah.
That time we discussed.
Okay, this is not the usual.
Yeah, look
Not
at the
the
costumes.
usual one.
Yeah.
But
Look at the costumes. It's something different, yeah.
Yeah.
The atmosphere that they have created there in the set was different.
Was different.
Was different, and we were too young to judge them or anything like that. I mean, once you watch the movie, the first
Then you
shot,
understand. But you went behind Chota Mumbai.
yeah, because for
The shot in Kochi, first of all.
yeah, it's of
Fort
course,
Kochi.
yes,
Yeah.
like that was
Both films.
Both of the films, like one of the films is shooting at Fort Cochin,
Yeah.
and another one is like somewhere at the Cherak,
Yeah.
Chulikil side and all.
Yeah.
So we were expecting for like Chota Mumbai because they are shooting carnival, bike race, so many junior artists, colorful things and songs.
Yeah.
it's just a Mammootty fan, Mohanlal fan. So, if you ask me, I would say Big B is the.
And to think that 18 years later, that both of your films released on that same Vishu holiday season. Exactly 18 years since that day.
With Mamuka.
Yeah, not
Big
about
B.
exactly 18 years
My
after.
first film released with Mamuka only, Kasaba.
No, I'm saying this is your first Vishu release.
Yeah.
Right. And the Vishu release is exactly 18 years after the release of Big B and Chota Mumbai.
Oh.
Now.
April.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
Nice.
Big deal, right?
Big deal. Yeah, that was surprising.
Yeah. So congrats, guys. Congrats
thank
on
you.
making such a
Thank you so
fun
much.
film, a film that's working in so many other states, not just Malayalam.
Thank you.
It's a movie that's translating outside Kerala also. So excited and looking
Thank
forward
you.
to watching it again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.